Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ìpínlẹ̀ ẹ̀yẹ. Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ulẹ̀ òyì ní. Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ìmọ̀ ti gòkè àgbà o. Ayé ayé a ò láyé ọmọ fáyé.
Set that ball rolling. My name is Kyle Divine.
Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ìpínlẹ̀ ẹ̀yẹ.
Hello and welcome. This is Ekiti on the Move. I am Tunji Saliu. In case you're still looking at agriculture or farming as the age-long pedestrian and poor enterprise, the story is already changing right here in Ekiti State. First, let's have the quick takes. Agribusiness, Ekiti's transformational approach to agriculture.
In spite of the vast arable land that supports a variety of crops, favorable climate across regions, local expertise that dates back to centuries, and a preponderance of population involved in farming in Nigeria, agriculture has remained at a subsistence level over the years. This is why, despite more than 70% of the population engaged in farming, the contribution of this sector to the GDP and foreign exchange had never been optimal, and it has dwindled over the years. However, Ekiti State, under the leadership of Dr. Kayode Fayemi, is set to change this narrative. It starts from getting the meat right, and this the state has done by its policy and approach to agriculture. A change of focus on farming and agriculture as a government social service to a commercial and private sector-driven approach aptly tagged agribusiness. With these, the administration hopes to achieve its well-thought-out vision of sustainable food security, creation of employment opportunities, and fostering agro-based industrial development for poverty alleviation and wealth creation.
The major occupation in Ekiti State is agriculture. And what we are doing is to take agriculture from the level of culture to agro-business, whereby we don't see it as more of a practice, but as a profession, whereby people could be proud. People could come out to associate and go outside to introduce themselves and be proud to call themselves farmers. It's on record that the top elites in Ekiti State, most of them are products of cocoa because some of them were trained with cocoa money. And a visit to any community in Ekiti will show you that most upstairs you see in the state, they are owned by cocoa farmers. So if our forefathers could do that and produce a very comfortable environment, livelihood for themselves, what stops us from continuing along that line? So in doing this, as a government, we are no longer running a social service, but providing creating the enabling environment for our farmers to thrive, for investors to really come in with their resources so that they can invest in the economy of the state.
With the policy firmly in place, it was not too difficult to design the requisite strategies for implementation.
It's by providing infrastructural development. Through ramp alone, we are looking forward to as much as doing about 1,000 kilometer access road to the farmland, so that it will be easier for our people to really move their farm produce from farm to the factory. We are creating this enabling environment through land development also. You know, land is a premium and agriculture is practiced on land. And what we are trying to do is to create access for our intending investors and for investors and farmers to have access to land if you look at the nature of the land in Ekiti, yes, land is available, but the accessibility could be a little difficult. Difficult in the sense that are the land tractorable? The answer is no. So what we are doing at the level of the ministry and the level of government is to clear land, to make more land available for our farmers. And I want to say in the last 20 months, it has not been an easy one for us, because so far so good. If by our record, we have committed close to 3 billion naira of state funds to land clearing. And as I speak with you, go to our sites, go outside the state capital, you see in our farm centers, in our farm settlements, and in acquired lands, we are seriously working in the field.
To be able to facilitate relationship with investors, because we need to know farmers even to their farms. So we have to do the registration of the farmers, taking care of even mapping of their farms, including getting every data connected that all the farmers on our platform now, we can locate them with their telephone, with their BVN. That was the first thing we did. And the first set, we captured over almost 50,000 farmers, though the registration is ongoing, because we cannot wait until we conclude before we start to use the data. And this has been of tremendous importance and usage to all partners coming.
And this is one of our achievements in the ministry so far, because there are a lot of people who paraded the corridors of power who claim to be farmers who are not real farmers. But what we have now is we have real farmers, authenticated ones, that we have been to their farm, we've done the georeferences of their farm, so we know their location, we have their addresses. So whatever any initiative that is coming from government, these are direct beneficiaries of our initiative.
Like the Japanese slogan of good thinking, good product, in less than 2 years of vigorous pursuit of its agri-sector transformation, Ekiti State is leading the way as investors' destination in agribusiness.
We've never been having it so good, unlike this in the field of agriculture in Ekiti State. If the efforts this present government is making had been made ahead of us, I don't think where we are we will be there now. Presently, we are working with a NOSAC group that want to work on oil palm. Presently, they've asked for about 18,000 acreage of land, and they are starting with about 2,000 acreage, with about 600,000 seedlings already available. So we are talking to farmers and talking to landowners how best we can work around the southern corridor of Ekiti State, where the rainfall is a little better than the northern part, and the soil is good for tree crops compared to what we have in the northern part that is more of arable crops. We have an initiative that we are working with through CBN, 5,000 acreage of land. We call it 5-Star Cassava Program. Under this, 1,000 farmers are empowered, are already engaged by Cassava Growers Association through the 5-Star program of 5 hectares per farm. At the level of rice production also, currently we have about 4 or 5 investors that are already working in Ekiti. I can conveniently tell you that GMK Foods is already renting its factory for rice milling. We have Stallone Rice. We've given them 5 hectares of land for them to have their factory located in Nado.
A visit to some of the ongoing agro-based investments across the state clearly shows not just a state that is getting it right, but also investors who are eager to take advantage of greenfield opportunities opened up by a purposeful and forward-looking administration.
Agric Limited is a key player in the grain value chain in Nigeria. There is already 4,400 hectares available, while the state government is also working on clearing towards actualizing the 8,000 hectares targeted. Here is 100,000 metric tons grain holding capacity of silos. Villam Agric is at the final stages of concluding the concession of this facility, and this facility has the capacity of storing cultivation of 25,000 hectares of grains at yields of 4 metric tons per hectare. This is aimed at touching a minimum of 10,000 smallholder families in Ekiti State. Direct and indirect jobs that this will create will span from the farming, the logistics, and then service provision. Currently, our partnership with the state government has created already mechanization service provision for several mechanization companies in the state. There are about 6 of them currently working with us, and currently we are doing plowing, and we have achieved a little above 400 hectares currently, and our target is that by the close of this season we will have at least 4,000 hectares of maize cultivated.
The Villam Agro are there for off-taking the products, which are going to be stored, in the silo here, and from there you can get to the markets in Lagos. So we're trying to create, significant economic activity, and this to us is about the most impactful agribusiness event going on in Ekiti State right now, because we're talking of 5,000 direct beneficiaries. We're going to be looking at 25,000 indirect beneficiaries, especially along the value chain support service. So we believe that this is going to transform the state, and by the time we move to the second season, third season, it's going to be very, very tremendous.
This is JMK Foods Rice Mill behind me. It's a collaboration between Ekiti State Government, Bank of Agri, and JMK Foods. Right here we'll be producing 36,000 metric tons annually. Basically, it's a value chain collaboration whereby we'll be producing here from farming to milling and also selling. So the whole process will be done here. We'll be collecting the paddy from Ekiti State, and we'll be milling right here.
FMS farm is an integrated farm. Our activities revolve around cassava cultivation and cassava starch processing. We are also into vegetable production, as we can see here. We are into vegetable production. In 2019, we cultivated about 400 hectares. This year, which is 2020, we are planning to cultivate 1,000 hectares. Actually, we've cultivated almost 250 hectares this year. It's a sustainable approach. Sustainable approach in the sense that we also integrate people from outside, which we call at-grower, whereby we have to give 2 hectares each to the farmers. And by this, we have been receiving a lot of assistance from the government. In time of the road construction from the express, that is Iyemero Expressway to Kwara, down to our farm. Last year, we were not able to access this place because of erosion. But thank God for what the state government has done. They were able to help us to renovate the road, almost 3 kilometers from the express to our farm here. Here in the Ekiti State, and especially in this farm, government has been so helpful in time of security. But the one that we also emphasize mostly is the land opening. Last year, he assisted opening almost 150 hectares of land. This year, we are here today for the opening of another 1,000 hectares.
The facility here is to add value to poultry products. And this is a support from African Development Bank in partnership with Ekiti State and the private sector.
The idea basically is for us to be processing live chicken here, and the capacity on that this building we are looking at can accommodate like daily about 5,000 processing belt. And so we employ people, we employ farmers, the outgrower that will be producing the belt for us. So presently, the direct labor that we have here is over 15 staffs, and we have about 527 farmers that we are still working with.
We have this rice partnership, and for us to be able to cope, Mr. Governor approved, and we sent 100 youths for training through the African Rice at IIT Ibadan in seed productions. They can multiply seed, and we have them already on the farm, doing very wonderfully well. And 40 of them was trained on value addition for rice. From rice alone, they can make milk, they can all those cake, confectionaries, and even wine. So that is part of the training we had for the farmers.
We supported Promacedo we've done about 500 hectares of land for them to plant and for feed, for them to be able to feed their cows in that place.
Already, Promacedo, a foremost dairy company in Nigeria, is in the process of producing milk in large quantity in the resuscitated Ikun Dairy Farm in Moba local government. With an investment of $5 million in the dairy farm, the company will be producing 10,000 liters of milk per day and as well employ over 1,000 workers when in full capacity.
Òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ulẹ̀ Uyini, òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, mọ̀ ti gòkè àgbà o, ayé ayé a ò láyé ọmọ Fáyẹ̀mí. Òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, òpinlẹ̀ yẹ. Òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ulẹ̀ Uyini, òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, mọ̀ ti gòkè àgbà o, ayé ayé a ò láyé ọmọ Fáyẹ̀mí.
Youth in Commercial Agriculture, YCAD, was one of the initiatives of the Governor Kayode Fayemi during his first term in office between 2010 and 2014. The program was immediately resuscitated but better repackaged in 2018 as part of the efforts to integrate youth into modern commercial farming in a sustainable manner.
As of today, YCAD is standing as an institution, as an agribusiness development institution. YCAD currently has about 1,200 members, and these members are supported to go into agribusiness. Currently, YCAD has a board of trustees, and these are things that these are systems that have been put in place to stabilize the organization and ensure that there is continuity in the delivery of programs. Our members are supported to go into commercial agricultural production in crops, arable crops, and poultry, livestock, in processing, in aquaculture, and a number of other agricultural value chains. Currently, YCAD is working with some of the development partners that have come into Ekiti State towards building the economy of the state. I can say categorically that we have very close to 700 of our members who are currently enrolled in these programs. This is one of the best initiatives that can happen in the state. It's agribusiness we're talking about now, and the only way to support young people is through initiatives like this. We're grateful to the state government, in particular His Excellency Dr. John Kayode Fayemi and the Ministry of Agriculture, who have seen this opportunity and invited young people to be part of this scheme. The young people are the future of the state, they are the future of the economy. So coming into commercial agricultural practice is one of the best things that can happen for a state like Ekiti State that is an agrarian state. We hope that at the end of this all, the multiplier effect of what we're talking about will be evident, and the economy of the state will grow, our members will be empowered.
Dr. Aruge represents one of the successes of Youth in Commercial Agriculture Development Program today. His story is an inspirational one for all the youths in the state to appreciate what is achievable.
I trained as a medical doctor, but now in agripreneurship. This vision started some years back as a member of the Youth in Commercial Agri Development called YCAD. It's the first time of the current governor in 2012, where a considerable amount of support was offered to young people to facilitate commencement of startup projects. And that was how the state government came into this project, and they were able to support us with a lot of assets, a lot of land assets, even financial support. And from there, we were able to grow, to be able to expand into different sectors in agri space. Yeah, that even includes equipment leasing, more cultivation of farmland. Then into this, when we got some form of support from Bank of Industry to purchase this high-end equipment to process cassava. Because of the support from the state government, we were able to go through with that transaction, and here we are with equipment available. In a couple of 2 months, we should be able to commence production of this facility and the ultimate official opening of this facility for business. Facility is to process about 100 tons of raw cassava to high quality cassava flour and starch every day. And the expected output is supposed to be between 20 to 25 tons per day. And this we expect to cover about 1,000 or more hectares of farmland, of raw cassava farmland that will be consumed every year. And we believe that this is just a starting point, and we have vision in the future to expand the capacity here to be able to cover up to 400 tons of output every day, because there's a vast land available here. And right in this community, we also have partners, we have farmers, we have the Nigerian Cassava Growers Association, a considerable exchange of farmlands for us to process around here. And what it ultimately brings to us is that most of the young people in the rural area will not find any reason to travel to Lagos or travel to Ibadan or travel to Abuja when they can maintain 5 to 10 hectares of cassava and have a ready place to sell. So in terms of employment generation, it's multiplier effect. The farmers bringing the raw cassava, the people who are directly involved in selling, even the transporters, transporting people back and forth, and the raw cassava as well, and also the final product from here to the final off-taker.
Encouraged by the various support and sincerity of government in walking its talk about making Ekiti the investment destination and the model in agribusiness in Nigeria, the farmers are already forming cluster groups under a single umbrella called All Farmers Association of Nigeria to leverage on economies of scale and take advantage of government's robust incentives in terms of ease of doing business.
We are the umbrella body. We are plowed over 250 hectares of land in Igede, Iyemero, Axis. We are functioning now on the farm. They have given us security. Along that, all the farms in the agro zone of Ekiti State, they have provided security in all the nooks and crannies of that area, which we just have to thank them for, appreciate them for that, the government of Ekiti. By the grace of God, anytime from now we shall start planting. You know, this is the August draft is on ground now, but the first week in August we start planting. I'm going to go into hibiscus, we want to go to ginger and turmerics and sesame seed and others.
To support all this investment and in preparation of the volume of commodities to come from the thousands of hectares of agric land and down the value chain, the state government is already building an agro-allied cargo airport within its knowledge and agric processing zone. This ambitious project, again, attests to the strategic thought process behind the administration's well-coined agribusiness revolution.
By the time we finish with the airport, can you imagine the flow? We finish with the airport. It is easier. It will be easier. I want to see Ekiti State waking up in the morning. You get to London, you get to America, or get to Australia, and the vegetable planted in Ekiti is sold in the British market. It's sold in the European market. This is what we are looking forward to, because once these facilities, amenities, the enabling the environment is conducive in terms of security, in terms of accessibility to land and other things, then definitely Ekiti will be a place of pride with the effort and with the support we are getting from Mr. Governor, His Excellency Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, I think it will go places.
Wow, so much in a short while. What else should we add other than to welcome our agro investors to Ekiti State, the land of honor, and to our teeming farmers across the state, a new dawn of prosperity. Talking about new investors, we also welcome to the state a new radio station, Fresh FM, owned by our own Yinka Yefele. Indeed, Ekiti is in the era of restoration. Let's quickly look at our fact file for this week.
Òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ulẹ̀ Uyini, òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, mọ̀ ti gòkè àgbà o, ayé ayé a ò láyé ọmọ Fáyẹ̀mí. Òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, òpinlẹ̀ yẹ.
That's Ekiti on the move this week. Do join us for another episode next week. Meanwhile, you can watch this episode and previous ones on our YouTube channel. You can also send your feedbacks via our social media platforms showing on your screen. Till next week, stay safe and goodbye.
Òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ulẹ̀ Uyini, òpinlẹ̀ Èkìtì, mọ̀ ti gòkè.